Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. 10 reasons the Cowboys will be a dumpster fire this season. This week, all week long, we're taking a negative look at each of the teams in the NFC East, in detail. Batting leadoff, as always, will be the Dallas Cowboys. To note, we will not be talking about the positives of any of the Eagles' NFC East rivals, because, well, that's no fun. This will be 100% vitriolic. And yes, we'll get to the Eagles as well at the end of the series. The Cowboys had hilarious ends to their seasons, both in 2021 and 2022. In 2021 against the 49ers, Mike McCarthy called an asinine play that required the Cowboys and the officiating crew to work together to spot and snap the ball with time ticking down. In 2023, we got no such end-of-game hijinks. Instead, the Packers simply tore them apart from the opening whistle to the final gun, as the vaunted Cowboys defense looked helpless against a Packers team that had the youngest roster in the NFL. The low light was probably when the Cowboys just didn't cover Luke Musgrave and Green Bay went up by 4 scores. Anyway, it was the same old for the Cowboys. They had some ups and downs during the regular season and entered the playoffs with some Super Bowl hype, and then they choked, as always. Here's how many times each NFL team has made a conference championship game appearance since the Cowboys were last there following the 1995 season. Would you mind updating the days without a conference championship appearance counter, Jerry? The Cowboys played in 16 conference championship games in a span of 10,606 days from their first appearance in one on January 1, 1967, to their most recent appearance on January 14, 1996. It will be another 10,606 days on the nose from that last conference championship appearance to the NFL's scheduled conference championship round at the end of the 2024 season on January 26, 2025. Previewing the Cowboys' offensive training camp battles. The Dallas Cowboys and coaches are enjoying some time off in between OTAs, organized team activities, and the start of training camp in Oxnard, California on July 23. There are many questions that need answers following the disappointing end to the 2023 season at the hands of the 7th-seeded Green Bay Packers in Arlington. Dallas was embarrassed on their home field in front of fans who, no matter how confident, always had that twinge of doubt underneath. That twinge proved to be right, and the team let us down once again. The Packers jumped out to a 27-0 lead before Prescott and the Cowboys finally got on the board with a touchdown catch by Jake Ferguson with no time left in the first half of play. They would eventually lose 48-32, at one point trailing by as many as 32 points in the fourth quarter. Dallas allowed nearly a baker's dozen players to leave in free agency, most of them following former DC Dan Quinn to Washington to help him in his new role as head coach of the Commanders. This mass exodus of players includes starters like RB Tony Pollard and LT Tyron Smith. It undoubtedly has created some opportunities for younger players, and has also bred competition between these young players vying for playing time. With training camp less than a month away, I want to highlight the biggest camp battles between these players trying to fill vacancies left by departed players, starting with the offensive side of the ball. Cowboys urged to sign 4-time Pro Bowl RB in 2024. The Dallas Cowboys have already made major changes to their RB group, but they could make an even bigger move for an ex-Baltimore Ravens RB. After a disappointing year with the New York Jets and Ravens, Dalvin Cook needs a new team and the Cowboys could be his landing spot. Bleacher Report writer Christopher Knox explored the possibility in a June 24 article. Knox explains that the Cowboys need another workhorse to help ease the load on the current group and QB Dak Prescott. Adding another back to the mix would be sensible because if the offense doesn't have balance, Prescott is going to face a lot of pressure, Knox wrote. It would behoove the Cowboys to at least kick the tires on Dalvin Cook. The 4-time Pro Bowler appeared to lose a step in 2022 and struggled to get on the field in 2023. Knox mentions that Cook could be open to a team-friendly deal to get with a contender. He states that $2 to $3 million could be a reasonable offer after Cook played on a $7 million deal with the Jets during the 2023 season before joining the Ravens for the playoffs. Cook may be past his prime, but he is still a four-time Pro Bowler. Being able to buy low on a player with that type of ceiling is hard to pass up. While Cook was with the Minnesota Vikings, he was one of the premier running backs in the NFL. A Florida State product, Cook lived up to his second-round draft billing after arriving in Minneapolis in 2017. However, it did take him a couple of years to reach star status. Cook tore his ACL in his rookie season, playing only 4 games. A hamstring injury then disrupted his 2018 campaign, meaning that Cook only played 15 games over his first 2 seasons. The injuries were a worrying trend, but Pro Football Reference shows how Cook rebounded in 2019. In 14 games, Cook ran for 1,135 yards and scored 13 touchdowns, adding another 519 receiving yards. He had officially arrived, and the now 28-year-old would spend the next 3 seasons terrifying defenses. His 1,135 yards in 2019 was his lowest rushing total until the 2023 campaign. He scored a whopping 16 rushing touchdowns in 2020 and finished as a Pro Bowler every year from 2019 to 2022. However, his departure from Minnesota did not pan out. In 15 games with the Jets, Cook only totaled 214 rushing yards and 1 touchdown on 67 touches. Back in April, Cook interviewed with KPRC2 writer Aaron Wilson. During the chat, the veteran RB explained that he's feeling optimistic ahead of the 2024 season. While 2023 was not ideal, it was not as physically taxing as previous campaigns. "I've got it all," Cook said. "The tools are still here. I didn't really get no reps last year. So, the legs are fresh, so the resume speaks for itself. I'm still Dalvin Cook. I'm still that guy. For me, I don't like to toot my own horn. I just like to go out there, put my helmet on and line up on the grass." Whether Cook finds his chance with the Cowboys or another team is unclear. But if he is feeling dangerous, just about every NFL team should be paying attention. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Dalvin Cook? Leave your opinion in the comments.